when I selected my wine of the week this week, this was not the wine that I selected. I 100% had a completely different intent for this week for what I was going to feature. However, this wine that just came in today, we featured it during a sampling this afternoon, and I tasted it at said sampling, and really just decided that the world needed to know about it. This wine, we opened it and I smelled it, and just based off of smell alone, I was incredibly excited to try it. Now, I'm not saying this is like the best bourbon barrel aged finished wine that I've ever had. I don't know that I could say that there is one that is definitely the best, but I will say that for this product, I mean, this is Gnarly Head. This is Gnarly Head 1924 bourbon barrel aged Cabernet. It runs about $13 a bottle. Depending on where you are, you might find it anywhere between like 12 and 15. For that price point, this is a phenomenal bottle of wine. This is really tasty. I was so impressed. Especially considering the fact that it's Gnarly Head. Because most things Gnarly Head, I'm just like, no thanks. Not good. Don't want it. Gross. Maybe not gross, but definitely not something I ever spend money on. But I totally purchased this. On the nose, it definitely got me with a lot of oak. So a lot of vanilla, a lot of brown sugar, caramel, you know, those kinds of things that you would expect from like a bourbon barrel. But the flavor on this was so nostalgic to me, which if you've seen some of my previous videos, I am a sucker for things that make me think of things from either childhood or times of the year that I prefer, or holidays that I prefer, or just events in general. Desserts that I like. Sucker. Trooper the rescue cat, come here. He's being a punk. Oh, he needs to go play. Okay, I'm sorry, baby. Hey, not on the tripod. Hey, you stop that. My camera might fall over at any second, and it's going to be because of my 9-week-old rescue kitten. Anyway, so flavors in this, really amazing. I was kind of going over it with one of my coworkers, and I said that if I really... One moment, please. Now that we're done with that nonsense, at least for the moment until he decides to run across the table again, the number one place that this took me to was like coffee cake. So if you think about that crumbly streusel topping that goes on top of coffee cake, in addition to the warm, gooey bits of coffee cake, that is where this particular cab takes me, because I think of that almost buttery, brown sugar, caramel, kind of raisiny cake with that very crumbly topping that just embodies things that... He's so bad. Let me tell you guys, raising a kitten from infancy is exhausting, and it is never ending in the bullshit that you have to put up with. However, it is incredibly rewarding, because here I am drinking wine with my 9-week-old rescue cat. And he's cute. It is a little bit lighter in the body than I would expect from a bourbon barrel-aged cab. Some of the ones that I've had, like if you've had Cooper and Thief, incredibly viscous, very good, but syrupy in a lot of ways. This is not at all. I get like a lot of cinnamon in the finish. very, very fruit forward in the front. Lots of like lush, deep berry. Really gorgeous in so many ways. It just really makes me think about being like just a little kid and just eating that like really standard coffee cake that my, grandma or my aunt would buy from Jewel Grocers in Chicago. Nostalgia, fun memories, delicious pastries. This little butt does not want me to finish this video. So I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it up and let you guys know that I think that in this price range, this drink's like a much more expensive wine than it actually is. It definitely stands up to some of the other bourbon barrel aged cabs and or red blends that I've had. I'm not necessarily saying it's the best one or that it's better than other ones that I've had, but for the price point that it's in, I was incredibly impressed with the complexity of it and how many really interesting flavor profiles I could pick out. So for 13 bucks, yeah, absolutely. If you happen to see it on a shelf somewhere where you are, definitely give it a throw, because like, what do you have to lose? I think nothing.